Whether you struggle with widespread acne or just individual breakouts from time to time, I completely feel your pain. So much fun. And while things are mostly under control these days, when I hit times of stress, sometimes my skin just has a moment, you know, what can I do? But today, I'm gonna show you how I use just a few simple products to quickly cover breakouts, taking you from this to this, a very natural, healthy looking complexion that doesn't look like it's covered in makeup. So if the thought of going back to work or school with blemishes showing makes you anxious, then stay tuned and follow these quick tips for an extremely natural and healthy looking complexion. Look how happy he is. Hello television viewers, my name is Nick. Thank you so much for joining me once again on my channel. Is it just me, or do breakouts always seem to happen at the least opportune moments? Like for instance, this past week I started a new job, and although I've loved every minute of it, of course it's stressful getting used to a new thing. So, suddenly I get this smattering of breakouts, but really only on one side of my face. That's the weird thing, and this isn't even the side that I sleep on. It's a mystery. The point is, I was freaked out because I didn't want to have to show up to a new job with pimples all over my face. It made me feel insecure. Luckily, I have this technique worked out which helps filter out all of those harsh red tones and leaves you with a much clearer looking complexion. Now, as you can see, this isn't really about using so many products that you completely cover up a blemish and obliterate your features entirely. I've always found that that approach leads to me leaving feeling like I have too much makeup on. It ends up making me feel just as self-conscious, honestly. So this technique is really, as I said, just about screening out some of those harsher imperfections. I find that if I can reduce the redness on the pinpoints that are really bothering me, I don't have to worry about things sliding around or rubbing off, and my natural skin tone is still showing, so I don't feel like I have a mask on. These are the tips I wish someone had taught me when I was a young boy struggling with acne, and in case this is your situation, I want to let you know that I'm only using products that you can pick up at the drugstore, so you don't have to worry about buying stuff online. All makeup, no matter if it looks natural or looks dramatic or glamorous. It's gender neutral. I do not like to assume somebody's gender identity or sexual orientation just based on whether or not they wear makeup. I think that's the way society is heading too, so jump on the Nick train if you're with me. Give this video a big thumbs up if you're helped out by this acne coverage routine. Let's see if we can get up to 30 likes. I love when that happens. I get so excited. And if you're new to my channel, I would love to have you click that subscribe button. That way you never miss new videos from me. I upload at least 2 new ones every week. That being said, let's jump into it. The first step to getting a smoother but still natural looking complexion is to find a good pore minimizing primer. I'm using the Smashbox Photo Finish Foundation Primer, the pore minimizing version. This one is not at a drugstore, but you can still pick a good one up for about $5. Go for the pore refining one from e.l.f. You could also try the baby skin one from Maybelline. The trick is though to use a very small amount, far less than you'll even think you need. When I first started using this stuff, I assumed if I slathered on more, it would fill in my pores even more and I would get like a porcelain skin appearance. But it actually just makes your face slippery, because the product will start sliding around on top of itself. It'll do the opposite of keeping product in place. So just take a tiny little, less than a pea-size amount like that, spread it between your 2 fingers, and then concentrate it on the areas where your pores are the largest. For me, that's the cheeks and the forehead and the nose. You might see that that instantly starts to blur out any harsh imperfections. That's the point. Next, we go in and start concealing. For this, I'm using the NYX HD Studio Photogenic Concealers. I've always liked these for acne coverage as far as drugstore concealers go, and the best part is they're $4.99 each. You can get them at Target, CVS, lots of drugstores have this now. You're going to need a flesh tone shade that closely matches your skin tone, as close as you can get. If you can't decide between 2 colors, try grabbing 2 and then you can usually return the other one if it doesn't work out. Let me know in the comments if you want to find out more about how to find your color, your shades for concealer and foundation. I'm using the shade 04. You're also going to need the green corrector shade. You can find lots of different versions of a green concealer. I'm just using the same kind for both. If you have dry skin, you might want to go for like a stick concealer. It looks like it's in a lipstick tube. That's a creamier consistency and will help hold on much better. If this is your first experience doing any sort of acne coverage, the green concealer might freak you out. Like, how is that gonna help my face look more natural? Stay with me. This will really make a big difference. Green, being the opposite color on the spectrum from red, will help neutralize any of those bright red spots so that when you put your flesh tone concealer over it, you can use always less. If you just did the natural looking concealer, your red blemishes will still be visible underneath, but they'll look more brown, and it's not a good look. So don't let the green intimidate you. I'm gonna show you how to use it. Essentially, you need to place a tiny amount of green concealer just on the exact center of all of your blemishes. You really don't want to get that green color onto your unaffected skin. Then, using a very light tap with your pinky finger or your index finger, make sure your hands are clean here. You want to go in and start gently tapping to distribute that green concealer and really blur those edges. This is how it should really look once you're finished with that process of color correcting all of your blemishes. Oops, I forgot these forehead guys. When we pull out away from my face here, I think you can see what we're getting at. That green just sort of knocks out that redness to give an overall less inflamed look. The process of applying the flesh tone concealer is pretty much the same as what you did with the green one. Just tap on a little bit of concealer at a time until you see no more green and everything looks pretty even. You can see as I go in covering up those green areas, I also just take a tiny amount on my finger and apply a thin veil to any areas of clear skin that look a little overly red to me. Just think of it like you're airbrushing on thin layers of concealer at a time. You can keep going back to other areas and building up little by little the coverage that you want. That's important because one layer will set and that allows you to build the coverage the next time you go back over it. You don't want to go too heavy-handed at any point, and don't do this for the first time like on your first day of school. Practice at home a couple times until you're really confident that you can get it done quickly and easily. A steady hand and a little bit of patience pays off here. Like, look at my cheekbones. You can still see a natural flush coming through. When I go in with the full face of foundation, I get something that looks more like this. It just sort of cancels out the life in my face. Here I feel a lot more comfortable. My eyes can still perceive a natural amount of imperfections, but it doesn't look distracting in any way. Now for one final step, if you're like me, you have pretty oily skin along with your acne, so I always like to throw on just a tiny trace amount of powder before I go out for the day. I feel like that just pulls everything together, gives a little bit of a soft matte look to the skin, and it just really ensures that you don't have any harsh lines or edges anywhere on your face. I take a loose powder. You can try the one by Maybelline. For more info on that, check out one of my first male grooming videos that I ever did, where we go for a little bit of a more camera-ready appearance, whereas this is kind of an everyday, at school, at work type of look. Just take a small amount of the powder on a damp beauty blender, or just get one of those triangular cosmetic sponges that they have at the drugstore, but they sell versions of this at the drugstore too, and it's reusable, so a little bit better for me. Distribute the powder on a surface like the back of your hand, and then start by applying it, just stamping it where you know you've built up the most coverage with that concealer. That'll help lock that concealer into place, which is of course important. And then just take a tiny little baby amount like that and apply it to the rest of the skin. I feel that this stippling motion gives a little bit of a better effect, keeps things luminous, or at least natural looking. Sometimes after all, I forgot these ones on my side of my face again. Sometimes without even realizing it, some of this powder and concealer gets into your eyebrow hairs and can make them look gray and a little ashy and bizarre. So I always like to go in with a clear brow gel. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Clear Brow Gel, and just brush the hairs up and into place. Not only does that clean off the hairs, but it makes them look really nicely organized, so you have a lifted look on your eyes. See the difference there? No plucking, no filling in, but instantly groomed looking brows. Since you're taking the time to perfect your complexion, hit those brows up too, baby. Neat and organized. You gotta organize those brows. They look better, right? Sometimes I have redness around my mouth and I blot concealer onto there as well. Finish up with a nice moisturizing lip balm. That'll help clean off your lips. This is the Mario Badescu Lip Wax, and it's made with rosehip oil, and it smells like roses, and it just gives me rose feelings in my face. I love this lip balm so much because it's made from flowers. P.S. Are you following me on Instagram yet? Because if you were, you would know that I'm really into roses lately. Also, I feel like this kind of gives it away. I'm holding two in my hands right now. I'm really into roses lately. You can't tell probably because I'm really subtle about it. Oh my god, we just finished this whole makeup tutorial. I'm like talking about flowers. We did it. Here's my final natural complexion acne coverage look. What do you think? I'm obsessed with it because looking at myself in the monitor, it's like I don't see a person with acne and I don't see a person who's wearing a full face of foundation. Just really well-placed concealer and well-neutralized redness. It helps give the appearance of bare skin because it mostly is, you know. Top it off with some beautiful brows and some luscious lips. You're ready to go. You know what I'm saying? I found it so helpful helpful and so encouraging to learn that once you learn how to use just a few simple makeup products, you have the tools in your brain to be confident when you go out of the house. If you don't want to go to work or school with blemishes that you're thinking about all day, then you don't have to. Just practice this ahead of time, and I promise you, you'll be able to walk out the door with skin that you feel a lot more comfortable in. That's my hope for you anyway. Let me know in the comments below if this is helpful to you, or if you have any other questions and I can help you specifically answer them. I'm always here for product recommendations, and I'm always here to talk about this kind of stuff in general, so hit me up down there. Also, please give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. If you want more makeup tips, if you want to support my channel, this is really the best way to do it. Thank you so much. Let's see if we can get this video up to 30 likes. I would be so pumped about that. And of course, if you're new to my channel, once again, I would love to have you hit that subscribe button so that you never miss new videos from me. I upload at least 2 every week. We talk pop culture, television, beauty, lifestyle, just the whole thing. You're not even gonna believe it. So click that subscribe button for new videos from me. You guys are all the greatest. Thank you all so much for joining me and getting concealed and perfected today. I will see you next time.